take your phone to the hotel bathroom with
That's
you.
a lesson. Yeah, Tyson was telling us about Docs in the chat, some harrowing incident.
Mm-hmm.
But here we're live here on News AF. You could subscribe. Go to newsaf.news to listen to the podcast every single week. Find us on YouTube.
Yeah. Tell us more. I was just going to re-X your X.
Re-X.
Re-X your X.
Double X. Okay.
Man, that does not have the same ring as Twitter stuff.
No, they never figured out a good word. Elon's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Can't rebrand what the word is. Okay. All right.
Yep.
You ready?
Let's go.
Okay.
I am ready.
Tyson is ready. And away we go. Let me cue up our theme song. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Rob Cesternino back again to talk with you about the week's most interesting news stories for the week of January 28th, 2025, here on News AF.
If the story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
Yeah, that's right. The guys are back to check in with you about a week of exciting news. And here we are back with pickleball's top influencer, a man who is down one giant trampoline. It's Tyson Apostle. Tyson, how are you?
I'm great. I salvaged the trampoline, dragged it back, rebuilt it, rebent some things, contacted the Chinese manufacturer. I contacted Amazon to see if they had like parts or like separate, different. And they were like, no, but we'll give you some money towards repairs. So they gave me like 25% of the cost of the trampoline back. And then the trampoline company that I contacted in China charged. I see somebody in your background, Danny. It's Liz.
Yeah, I tried to tell her beforehand she needed to come in and get her stuff but she didn't answer the phone.
She can go in there. She just can't.
Nope. She already interrupted us. So I'll tell her later. Tyson's story about the Chinese tramp manufacturer interrupted by Liz.
Okay, so Chinese tramp manufacturer got it all taken care of, charged me just a little bit more than what Amazon gave me back. So almost a wash. And I got some weights to put on the legs of the trampoline, some stone weights that should help. I tried these anchors in the ground, but if you've never tried drilling trampoline anchors into solid granite, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's so
solid
impossible.
granite.
Dude, I did not realize. I tried hammering a piece of rebar in there. Nothing will go down. So now I'm like, my pool is going to cost $85 trillion because
you're going to have dynamite.
They are probably
like the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Might have to do an above ground pool option. So anyways, brutally hard ground. And another thing, we got some Girl Scout cookies. I always go ham for the Girl Scout cookies. This is the deal for me. Anytime the first Girl Scout I see selling cookies, I give her $100 for a box of cookies for the whole box. I buy $100 worth of cookies. So I'm like, I have $100 bill, fill it up. Let's go. I figure that's like my good deed for these, it's
take the rest of the year off for good deeds.
Exactly. Get it done early.
Yeah, of course.
And so even though Girl Scouts is probably an evil corporation with a CEO that makes $85 trillion, who I think
that's what the word is.
Yeah. So whatever. No, I'm more Samoas. Somebody said tagalongs are nothing. I'm saying Samoas are the go-to. They have coconut and chocolate and caramel in them. So anyways, I get these cookies and we're having a few of them the other night, and Bergen and Marlo have to get ready for bed. And they're like, no, we won't leave you with the cookies. And I was like, don't worry, I won't eat any. And Bergen's like, Mom, film Dad to make sure he doesn't eat any. So as she goes,
the whole night?
No, just like as they go to get their pajamas on. So as they go to get their pajamas on, I purposely eat some for the camera and then hand some to Rachel, who also eats some. And then the girls come back and are like, no. They rewatch the video, see the footage of us eating cookies. They're livid. And Marlo
sense of trust has been destroyed.
Marlo goes, Mom, you have to post that on Instagram and say 2 daughters only got 2 cookies and the dad got 11 cookies. And so
wow.
Rachel did post that, but it's funny that Marlo's all on the public shame train, you know?
Yeah. You raised her right.
It's ingrained in who we are as humans.
It really is.
But did you eat 11?
Well, Bergen, the girls both thought it was funny because they could tell we were purposely eating for the camera. And then
were you eating the cookies like the Cookie Monster, just crumbs shooting?
I put 2 of them. I put 2 of them in my mouth at the same time and just chewed super loud. And then I crumpled the package up really loud and handed a bunch of cookies to Rachel off camera. Bergen thought it was funny at first, but then when she realized that we did actually put a big dent in the cookie box, she started to cry. Yeah. And she said, I only got 2. And I said, I only got like 11. Yeah. And she started to laugh again.
But didn't you buy $100 worth of cookies?
Yes. There's that's about 12, 15 boxes in our pantry. There's
more where that came from, kid. Come on.
And there's Girl Scouts on every corner of every
Did you give them a lecture? You know, there's lots of kids who don't ever get Girl Scout cookies.
No, I had to break down the math. I had to do island math for her where I was like, you're a quarter my size. That means you get a quarter the amount of cookies because I need to fuel this work of God.
This dad bod.
And what percent did the kids pay for?
0.
Yeah. Also a point you probably should have made.
Right.
Yeah. That doesn't work. They don't care. And also Rachel read some article that said, and this was like, I think Danny and I have talked about this in the past. We were way ahead of the curve, but now there's stuff coming out that's saying like, your kids didn't ask to be brought into this world. So you saying, oh, I pay for everything isn't a really valid argument because like you were the one that was willing to take on that responsibility, which Danny and I have maintained that it's our parents' fault for having us. They should support us in our various the financial liberalities.
Yeah. We're the ones who wanted a legacy. So we're like, we'll have kids to remind their kids about us and how awesome we were.
Yeah. And we're like, we'll only do that if you can fund our awesome stuff.
Do you want me to tell my grandkids how great you were? Okay, pony up.
Wow.
I didn't ask to be brought into this world.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's so we don't use the I paid for all of this stuff. We just use there's so many cookies. There's so many cookies around. We could get cookies anytime we wanted, anywhere we wanted. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, you could Scrooge McDuck some cookies, like fill the pool up and go swimming in some Samoas.
Yeah.
Throwing them in the air, laughing.
And Keebler's makes some coconut dreams that cheaper than Samoa's. And pretty much, I think, identical ingredients.
Cookie Talk with Tyson Apostle.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Cookie Talk. Can't get your Girl Scout cookies this time of year? That's okay. I know every knockoff Girl Scout cookie that you can get.
Cookie Talk.
It goes to a different evil corporation rather than the Girl Scouts of America, which is also probably an evil corporation. I say probably because I haven't seen a negative article about them recently, but I have in the past. I'm sure our chat will let us know. Coconut Dreams. Thin Mints. I don't know what the knockoff for Thin Mints is, but I'll do my research and we'll be back next week on Cookie Talk with Tyson.
Cookie Talk with Tyson. Okay. Cookie Talk with Tyson is sponsored by the knockoff cookie company from China. Hey, from the people that brought you Chinese knockoff trampolines and AI, we have
Artisan
cookies. Yeah,
Artisan.corn.
Sponsored by Artisan.corn.
Available on Temu. Use promo code NEWSAF to get 5% off. Okay, and here with the guy to continue on Mr. Bryson's legacy, Danny Bryson.
Craig Bryson's legacy, Daniel Craig Bryson.
Danny Hot Soup Bryson. What's up, guys? I'm back.
You are back.
Yes.
I traveled.
How was Switzerland?
Many miles. Pretty good. Not as much snow as I had hoped.
Flights and stuff?
You know, when I very first got there, my first day was just brutal. like windy, terrible weather. I was skiing on ice with flat light, which flat light, if you don't know, is when you ski, sometimes the lighting makes it so you can't tell what the hill is doing, going up, going down, if there's a bump. And I got back and I'm like, this is so stupid.
You can't tell where the sky starts and the ground
exactly.
begins.
Then the next day I skied powder and my smile returned.
Was it Virgin POW?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
but it was weird because nobody else, I was out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody was there. I thought, why is when nobody else is where you are, you begin to think that where you are is dangerous. Something's wrong. Why is nobody else here? And so, but it was an awesome day. And it was cool. I went with my brothers. They were there. One of my brothers brought his kids. So yeah, good family time. I like Switzerland, but it's insanely expensive. And when I travel with
is
other
it that
people,
expensive though, really?
Oh, it is. So when I travel, I tend to sleep in my car and eat at gas stations. But when you travel with other people, they eat out every night and they want to go to restaurants that taste good. And they make fun of you when you're like, let's just eat a gas station hot dog. And so it is kind of peer pressure, shames you into buying hot meals every night. And it's just like, whoa, this is so expensive. Like, I can't even imagine. I wanted to take my family there, but then I realized like,
oh yeah, they're going to want
financially. Also. Yeah. Well, I thought if I brought my family, I'd fill up a suitcase with Top Ramen
and be like, this is it. Cliff Bars.
And Cliff Bars. Like, this is all you get.
I'm still snacking on Cliff Bars that made the trip to Norway with us.
Yeah, I took some of my old Norway food too. But Tyson and I ate out of a lot of gas stations.
We did.
You talked about them and how nice they were.
Circle K. Delicious hamburgers. I was, when Danny's saying this and complaining about that, he doesn't know that the way that he traveled there is not a way I travel anymore.
Oh, I know that. I know that nobody my age travels that way. And so part of the conflict with traveling people my age is
I didn't complain. I just went and did it.
Most people don't.
I stayed in $100 hotel. No problem.
Like, this is part of the experience, but I can tell on everybody's face that they're like, I am no longer 25. I don't need to sleep in cars or cheap hotels.
So Danny is traveling like a vagabond, and that's not how you do it anymore, Tyson?
Nobody
does. Correct.
And actually, sometimes I'll be sleeping in this like dilapidated hotel or in my car, and I'll be like, what am I doing? I'm a grown man. Yeah. And then I'll get online and look at booking a hotel and think, this is fine. This is who I am.
You'll make it.
I can embrace this. Dad, you brought me into this world. I need the Four Seasons right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I look for a good deal. I look for a good deal and stuff, but my range has gone up over the years of what my price range is per night for a hotel. But it was fun. It was fine. I mean, and there is fun things about living in or staying in those cheaper places because
they're different.
There's just experiences that you laugh about where you're like, this wouldn't happen in a nice hotel.
When you're
kind of hilarious.
Are showering and you're also taking a poo at the same time because they share the same space. You're like, this is an interesting experience.
Yeah, Rob doesn't even know about that part, but
no.
Sometimes the shower, and like in France especially, there's those like Formula One hotels where they're like one plastic molded inside thing, and the shower head is like almost right above the toilet. So it's like you can poop or you can shower.
Your shower water is
shower poop
hitting the toilet.
Yes,
and you're standing in toilet water, essentially.
Not toilet water.
But yeah, it's toilet water in that it's hit the toilet and then now it's circulating around your feet.
Probably helps with cleaning the toilet. Toilet stays clean.
Maybe. But speaking of though, Danny, I'm ready for another adventure.
Okay. The ankle's healed. The spirits are high.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's do it.
Spirits are high. Great news. I sent you a couple.
I looked at that. The one with the waterfalls.
Yeah, looked pretty cool, right?
I was like, is that real? At first,
that's the thing is you never know. It could be AI, but that's what we need to do. We'll start a new YouTube account where we'll go see if those are actual landmarks or AI.
Oh yeah, AI or real or AI. That's the new channel.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so, just from the chat, real quick, Reagan says, former Girl Scout here, I sold over 2,000 boxes a year, and a lot of money does go to the troop, and you get a lot of prizes. So that's a lot of cookies.
Thank you, Reagan. Yeah, and if a lot of it goes to the troop, I feel good about that. I will continue my $100 drop at the first Girl Scout I see every year. I just didn't know how much goes to the top
You know,
person.
that reminds me, every time I go to Taco Bell, they're like, do
Mhm.
you want to round up for something or other? You know what I would like to round up for? Some kind of thing for the people who work at that Taco Bell. If they're like, hey, would you like to round up for the Taco Bell Hawaii retreat for this location?
Yeah.
I'd be more likely to round up for
Hmm.
those people than some organization that I don't know
As opposed
exists.
to like, what about when they spin the thing around? Like, okay, what % tip do you want to give us?
Yeah, we'll watch you. We're going to maintain eye
Oh,
contact.
I hate
while
that.
you push that button.
I like rounding up because I like round numbers. I like increments of 5. So if you can
OMG
give me
says that's
there.
called a tip, Danny. But there is no tip option at Del Taco a lot of
No,
times.
no. At Taco Bell, they ask you, would you like to round up for the so and so?
But they don't ask you for a tip. There's no
No.
tipping
But what I'm
option.
saying is, I would love to round up for anyone if that money that I was rounding
Yes.
up went to the people who worked at that building.
We
Some kind of
understand that,
yearly
Danny, but
bonus.
OMG in the chat says that's called a tip. And
Mm.
it is a tip, but it's not easy to tip at a fast food restaurant. You leave that money on the thing and you walk away, and somebody else from another table is like, whoa, they just left $20 on
By the way,
table.
I'm less offended by a roundup than a tip. Would you like to round up? I would always like to round up. I like seeing a clean number. Do you want a tip? No. I will look at
because
my
Danny's
shoes
Del
and-
Taco order is like $14.83, and
For
then
my
like,
whole
okay,
family.
then leave a tip 15%. Okay, now it's like $17.92. Still not a round number.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
18. Take that money. The whole group can go do like a team building exercise in Hawaii. I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
Okay.
There you go.
Man,
All
how
right.
much would they, for years? It would take them years, literally. The people who started collecting those Hawaii vacation roundups wouldn't actually get to go to Hawaii because it would be like 15 years down the road. So only the owner,
Well, and the
only the
turnover for
owner of the
Hawaii.
franchise.
Hey, keep the employees there.
Manager. Yeah, it might keep people there
Retention.
and lower turnover.
All you do as the manager is you're like, I think we're going to have enough to go to Hawaii next year or next month. So everybody stay on board. And then you have to say that at the beginning of every month.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Good idea.
All right. Well, let's get into some of our news stories for this week. And some people who are behind the counter, maybe getting some tips, some people that work at Starbucks. We talked about how they just started the new no lurking policy. And so Starbucks is also introducing in locations panic buttons for staff to deal with customers who linger in their shop without making purchases.
So if we
love
were
it.
on a boys' adventure, Danny and I, and we didn't have a hostel, so we had to sleep in our car in front of Starbucks, you think they'd hit that button?
They might.
Absolutely.
Yeah, now I don't know if it works for outside the store, but what it says it does is that it alerts staff security when dealing with confrontations. How many Starbucks have staff security?
I was wondering that too, because I've been to Starbucks before and I don't remember any security.
Each
Definitely
one
not-
has a SEAL Team 6 behind some like concealed door.
they're
ready to
actually
burst
hidden in the
out.
counter below, and they're all crouched down.
Move.
The front of the counter is actually all their shields pieced together in a wall that looks like a counter, and then they all just come out and they're like, "Hita!" Man, yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like if you have security at the Starbucks, what do you need the panic button for?
Well, because you have to open the door that contains the security team. And
It
release them.
unlatches all their shields,
And they
from
come
each
over and
other.
just start smashing the person's laptop.
Unless like all the Starbucks, like there's like a Starbucks and there's one across the street. Like maybe are they sharing one security person and it's like, hey, we hit the panic button. We need to beep him.
And
Maybe
he's like,
it's a
hold on, I got to
go on.
run the 200 yards from Target Starbucks to regular Starbucks in the parking lot
why not one dog, one Boston Dynamic dog,
that can run from
and
location to location.
well, no, the
within a
door
10-mile
slides
radius.
open underneath the counter, and the dog
Security
walks out.
drones.
Security dog.
I know, but what about a security drone? Then it can handle a larger population of Starbucks.
Okay, it just might not make it. People shooting them out of the air and whatnot. One dog though, $20-something thousand. I don't know if people can buy them yet, but that's just like a boom per location. As a franchise owner,
Yeah.
that's just built into the cost.
Built
you
into
get
the
one
cost now.
robot
Yeah.
dynamic dog.
I don't know if you're watching any of these commodity prices. Coffee, price of coffee is going up. I mean, if my Starbucks is $10, I feel like I should be entitled to stay for as many hours as I want.
Can you
Should there
get
be-
refills?
No,
Oh, I think no refills. I think they're not doing refills.
You can pay for another coffee,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think let's just go to McDonald's, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They have large coffees and they let you lurk.
Or just
Yeah.
open a building called Lurkers, like a
Lurkers.
franchise of Lurkers.
What
It's
do we have like vending machines at Lurkers?
Yeah, and
vending machines, and it's a monthly charge of just like $10. It's
internet
like a gym.
access.
It's $10 a month. Lurkers.
Yeah, this is great. No, great idea. Lurkers.
Couches.
Okay, we got vending machines, but here we have live feeds at Lurkers. And people can watch the live feeds at Lurkers. You can stay as long as you want, but we got cameras and
Everywhere.
people are watching and we're running ads on the live stream, Danny. Okay? So we're not making we're making our money by the looky-loos who are
Yeah.
watching the Lurkers live.
We're making money every step of the way, dude. We're
Boom,
making
boom,
money on
boom.
people paying the subscription. We're making money at the vending machines.
Vending
We're making money
machines.
on the live feeds.
The toilets.
This is
We
legit.
got Girl Scouts setting up a counter
Cookies,
here.
counter.
Yeah, splitting
Yeah.
profits with the Girl Scouts.
And don't forget the Halloween, the holiday crowd.
Yeah.
We can have seating for dads who don't want to shop anymore with their wives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sit down while their wife walks around and buys stuff.
Mhm.
Listen, the vending
Lurkers.
machine has coffee. The coffee machines there that are like at fancy morning buffets or something. And so like it needs to be like this is what it's like. It's called Lurkers, but it's set up like an airport lounge.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially like the
Chat
feeling,
loves
the
this
vibe
idea.
that you want. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's the vibe that you want
Ooh,
is
this is it.
the Amex
I like this
Centurion
idea.
Lounge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that really only works right in big cities. I don't think you get lurking nearly as much in county Starbucks.
Yeah, you don't get lurking as you get some, but not enough to warrant
Justify
an
a
entire
Lurkers location.
Lurker's location, you know.
Mhm.
Lurkers.
Oh, and the Lurkers logo can be some like creepy cartoon character with like shoulders hunched. Like
peering over a fence.
no, it's not called Peepers.
Oh,
It's called-
Peepers is our other business.
That's our other business.
Yeah. Lurkers, yeah. Lurkers is okay. I like it. You
Okay,
can call
well,
it yeah.
Let's take it to the
L&L.
shark.
Why don't we call it L&L? Because that doesn't sound as weird and it's lurkers and loiterers.
Oh, Lurkers and Loiterers.
You can pay half price to just
That
hang
sounds
out
like a
out
law
front.
firm. Lurkers and Loiterers.
Hmm.
LLC.
Yeah, I do like L&L is better than lurk is a bad word, I feel
Yeah.
like. Nobody wants to be a lurker.
Yeah, L&Ls.
Mhm.
So it's only half price to hang out front, but we do have picnic
And you can buy a
benches and stuff.
subscription.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Lurkers.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love this. It's cheaper
Hmm.
than because what are those office places you used to be able to go in and like workspace and go in with your
Yeah,
laptop?
we work. We
We
lurk. We lurk.
So this is WeLurk. It's cheaper. You don't get your own cubicle or anything. You cram that thing full. Like
Get
you
a
could
state
go in.
couch.
Yeah.
You could go in and it could be like the Amex Lounge that you pay a subscription to, and the line is like half an hour long because it's so jam packed. You never know what you're getting at Lurkers. Like busy, crowded time, you might have to wait. You might have to loiter for a long time before you can lurk.
But we allow loitering
Yeah.
outside.
We do for half price.
Yeah, what's the Wi-Fi situation at We Lurk? Are we
It's
letting
free, but it's crappy.
It's crappy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you have to watch an ad, and then we're getting money for the ad that you have to watch.
You have to watch the ad, and then after you watch the ad and realize that it's crappy, you go back to your phone cell plan,
Mm-hmm.
which is generally what I do at a lot of public places. I'm like,
Yeah.
this Wi-Fi sucks. I can't even
Mhm.
watch TikTok. So
This is pretty good.
Twitch, yeah. Speaking of, I'll sell my TikTok phone for $40,000.
Yeah, I saw that in the news. People, the hottest thing on eBay is selling your phone preloaded with TikTok. How's that possible? That's attached to your account.
Yeah.
Was
Well-
that when TikTok was going to get outlawed? Is that
Yeah.
what
It's still not available in the App Store, I don't think.
Oh, it didn't
Like
come
if
back.
you have it, you have it, but it didn't come back on the
No,
App
let me look.
Store.
Mhm.
So I think that if
Preloaded
you-
TikTok phones
yeah.
with your Apple account still attached. Otherwise,
Well,
how does that work?
Well, you can log out of everything.
Hmm.
I don't know how it works. But you
Yeah.
probably just up the security on everything, log out of your TikTok account, and just have the phone with just TikTok on it and hand it to them.
Yeah, you're right. TikTok not available on the App Store.
There you go.
Okay. Do you think a bunch of people stayed on Red Note?
I'm on Red Note.
Yeah. How is it?
But I didn't get the vibe that everybody else got where they were like, oh, they were so funny and nice. And I hardly got any interaction at all.
Okay.
I
All
wish
right.
I did because it looked really fun, but I don't think I posted compelling enough content.
All right. Well, I don't know if it's on TikTok, but a lot of young people are being influenced by a social media trend known as the Kool-Aid Man Challenge.
By the way, this is old news. My nephew,
You heard about this already?
my niece, I'm sorry, got in trouble with the police years ago for doing this.
The Kool-Aid Man
Did
Challenge?
she jam through a vinyl fence or what
Through
are
a
you?
vinyl fence. Yep.
Is that what everybody's doing through vinyl fences only,
That-
or are they doing
they've
it
been
through
do-
anything?
No,
Yeah.
vinyl fences are the easiest one.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like 10, 15 years ago, tons of kids were doing that around here.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
fences were all destroyed.
People are destroying fences to participate in the Kool-Aid Man Challenge. Here's a photo from West Omaha. Look at this fence
Yeah.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dick move. Like huge, like so annoying. I can't even imagine now as a homeowner with a vinyl fence how annoyed I'd be.
Teenagers
happening.
ram through fences, resulting in $2,000 worth of damage.
So annoying. But my niece, she sat in the car while the boys did it that were in the car with her. They got caught pretty quickly. There's so many cameras now
Mhm.
out there that unless you're doing remote houses and then like somehow jamming Wi-Fi as you do it, I don't see how you're doing this without getting caught.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're catching people, and when you get caught, you could get a criminal mischief charge for if the damage exceeds $5,000.
And voluntarily have to work at Lurkers.
Yes.
We don't have many employees there.
Yeah.
No, but the ones we do don't want to be there.
What
Are
about,
we getting
like,
some kind of
robbers'
government
masks?
subsidy? Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting government subsidies to hire these criminal children.
Yeah. The trick in my day was to drive through the vinyl fences on the corners with your car.
Yeah,
Wow.
much safer because vinyl fencing breaks up
Not
into
safer.
really
What?
sharp like edges.
Yeah.
Have you ever broken a vinyl fence? It does not break cleanly. It gets sharp.
Yeah,
You
but
get
driving,
definitely-
I never drove through one, but I know I saw the aftermath. But then you were like, what if somebody was on the other side of that fence or something? They always did it at like 3 a.m.
It's like a
Mhm.
daycare center on the other side. You don't know. I once
The
this
kids
is
are
like
roaming free.
yeah, you like hitting a box. I would never hit a box just sitting
No.
there on the road, even though I definitely want to hit a box.
Yeah, you
I
do.
just wanna
If you
smash
play, what
it.
if you placed your own empty cardboard box and then hit it?
Yeah,
at
that
8
would be
miles an hour?
satisfying, but it'd be
Mhm.
like I see
don't know what's
boxes
in the
every now and
box.
then. There
No.
could be like it could be
A
filled
stone.
with
A
spikes,
single boulder.
9-inch nails,
Oh my God.
The
Or Trent
band?
Reznor. Yeah.
CDs.
Oh, 9-inch nail CDs.
Oh yeah. Oh, you guys
Destroyed
thought I meant
tires. Yeah.
nails.
Yeah. So yeah, be careful. It's going on.
Be careful!
In
Don't do it.
If you
Idiot.
have a vinyl fence, how can you deter the kids?
Oh, I know how. You put on the
cameras.
other side of your vinyl fence a wooden fence. That'll be the shock of their life.
Or
when they
some
bust
9-inch
through.
nail CDs. If you put 9-inch nail CDs on the
A
backside
wall.
of that vinyl
Mhm.
fence.
So we put up a fake cat in the road once, right?
Yeah.
And we put a coin in its eye to make
You
it
put
like
2
flashback.
coins. So
So
with
then this
2
guy
coins, yeah.
ran over our cat. And we were like, that's not what you're supposed to happen. You're supposed to be like, whoa, what is this thing in the middle of the road? He ran over it. And then he turned around. And while he was turning around to run over it again, I ran out and put a rock behind it.
Yes. Okay.
So then he came back, and the sparks that came from under his car just lit up the night sky. I was like 14 or 15 at the time.
Uh-huh.
And when he stopped his car, I fled through the woods. I was so afraid. I hid under a stairwell filled with like spider webs. I didn't even care.
You didn't care at all.
I laid there for like 30 minutes. I was like,
And was he looking at you for 30 minutes?
Oh yeah, he was driving around. I was so afraid. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
about to die. I'm going to be
We
murdered
did-
by this guy.
We did the shiny-eyed kitty. and we do it with a
I
can
never
of
even heard of this before.
So you cut out a silhouette of
cat.
with cardboard of a cat in black
Paint it
cardboard
black.
or spray
Yep.
paint it black. Put 2 dimes as on the eyes, glue the dimes there. So then it reflects back at the driver when the driver's headlights go on it, because you do it in the dark and around the corner where there's no lights or anything. And then you put a can of tomato soup to stand it up. And that way when they hit it, there's tomato soup everywhere that looks like blood.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We just pinned it up with a piece of cardboard. That's why he ran over. There were no repercussions.
Yeah.
So when he came back for his second round of running over, I was like, dude, I'm going to teach this guy a lesson.
Cat killer.
Yeah, you do that with a vinyl fence.
Maniac.
They try to go through a vinyl fence once and there's something behind it. They won't be doing that ever again.
The can of tomato soup really throws them off, because they usually like swerve around it or come to a stop. At it weird and are like, is that real? Is that not real? Why isn't that thing moving? And then they get out. If they get out, you run. If they just drive around it, you stay there and watch for the next car. And then if they hit it, the hope is that they circle back around to investigate and see
the gore.
Tomato soup everywhere.
Wow. This is what you have when you don't drink as a teenager.
Oh, we were just doing this like last week.
Yeah.
Do we think that Kool-Aid is at all behind the rise in popularity of the Kool-Aid Man challenge?
I'd be less upset if the kid who broke through my vinyl fence was wearing a Kool-Aid costume.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he said,
that.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, as he came through the fence, he'd be like, he's doing a bit. You know, I got to sacrifice something to the bit.
You actually have a vinyl fence, right, Danny?
I do, yes.
And has it ever been broken through?
No, but my kids shot it up a bunch with their airsoft guns. And
did that damage it?
It looks grim. Oh, yeah. Tons of holes. Classic kid. They're like, they think it's cool that their airsoft gun's making a hole, but as a dad, you're like, dude, that is so annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do kids even know who the Kool-Aid Man is? Has the Kool-Aid Man remained in popularity? I feel
think
like
after they're like, I think they Google it and then they see it after they like do it and they're like, that's funny, like the Kool-Aid Man, and everybody's like, yeah, exactly. And then they all go home and Google it.
I mean, he did bricks. So
yeah, and he'd break into like courtrooms and stuff and be like, "Oh yeah!" As
by the way,
getting serious, and then
I
turn
watched
it into a party.
Kool-Aid Man and some of these older commercials. I watched an old commercial because I was trying to remember if the Noid was a thing. Remember, avoid the
Noid.
Yeah.
He
so
got sued by a man named Noid.
So I watched.
I didn't know that.
The avoid the Noid commercial, and I thought commercials used to be cool. They suck so bad now. Like in the 70s and 80s, there was like, wow, they tried to be entertaining. Now they're just phoning it in.
Yeah, they are. But also, we had like we had Ronald McDonald. I posted a TikTok of a Ronald McDonald statue at my local McDonald's, and that thing's creepy. And I was like, marketing in the 80s and 90s was so much different. I don't know if it was always better.
All the cocaine.
You think that's what it was?
Yeah, but just generated wild commercials. Go watch Avoid the Noid or this Kool-Aid guy. I mean, who's coming up with that idea? It's awesome.
It's awesome. Like you can literally, like, can you imagine those meetings where they're like, okay, so what should we do? And you're like, okay, giant jug of Kool-Aid, super serious thing like school or
breaking and entering
or court or something, smashes through a wall, goes, oh yeah, and then everybody parties.
Yeah, commits what is mischief? Criminal mischief.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. Danny says the Noid commercials are awesome. Okay.
Let's see if they are awesome.
Great. Here we go. Here we go. Pressure's on. I've already endorsed this. I don't know if this is the one I saw.
Avoid the Noid commercial. 80s.
It's your call. You can enjoy the fresh baked quality from Domino's Pizza,
not even real
or take your chances with the Noid. You can have pizza made to your order, or you can count on our famous 30-minute delivery, or
this isn't the exact commercial.
You can taste.
Yeah, but okay, so that was the campaign, though. Why is the Noid? What are they saying happens if you don't get Domino's? That the Noid is gonna blow up?
Yeah,
the other pizza that you get.
It's just that you never know what you're going to get, because you know how sometimes you get delivery pizza and it's like upside down, and that's I think what the bomb was doing was that. So I think that they were saying you always know what you're getting with Domino's, but the Noid is every other pizza company, and you don't know what's coming.
Avoid the Noid. By the way, I'm going to reinforce what I said before. I still think that's a great commercial. Claymation Noid character blowing up a pizza. Now, what do you get? Some slick Domino's thing? Like, what are they even trying to entertain you with? If you're a kid and you're watching the Noid create mischief against pizza, you're like, all right, this is entertaining.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's memorable. We're still talking about it 30 years later.
40.
I do
40 years
believe
later.
I do believe that there was a person with the last name Noid who ended up suing Pizza Hut or who ended up suing Domino's because they were getting harassed from the commercial
everyone
campaign.
to avoid them.
Yes.
And Noid.
And Noid. Yeah. So Kate in the chat says, hate avoid the Noid because it was supposed to be don't get annoyed, but it got changed in committee. And that's how it was. Like everybody's 80s, everybody's on Coke, and they're like, let's just change it to avoid the Noid instead of don't get annoyed.
It's way better.
Yeah.
Noid. Like, what is a Noid? It sounds like a clump of cancerous cells somewhere in like your body.
Yeah, that's why you avoid the Noid, Danny.
Yeah.
Pete says you still remember it, so it worked well, but I don't remember the last time I got Domino's pizza. Probably when I lived by Danny.
Yeah. Now Domino's, their whole thing is like, oh, Domino's is very fresh pizza, real
They're just stuffing cheese in more holes. I mean, it's like it's a contest to see who can put the most cheese into their
infused
pizza.
Yeah. Cheese infused crust with cheese infused pepperoni with cheese infused bacon with cheese infused sauce.
Yeah, exactly. You could sell me on a cartoon character in a claymation commercial, but just telling me where you're stuffing more cheese isn't necessarily going to be a good selling
If
point.
Domino's knew what they were doing, they would bring back the Noid Super Bowl Sunday. If it's not too late.
If they're listening, they're going to scrap everything. Bring back the Noid.
Yeah. The Noid guy who was actually annoyed by the Noid held Domino's employees hostage or something. Like OMG looked it up in Wikipedia, and I do believe something like that is true.
Dang.
Held 2 employees hostage at a
And
Domino's
Netflix hasn't bought the right
hours.
to pump out this
this is a
documentary.
great story.
Yeah.
Avoid the Noid.
Avoid the Noid. We don't want to get sued either. So embrace the Noid. Embrace the Noid. Show love to the Noid. Treat the Noid with respect.
What if Domino's welcome the Noid home? What if that's their Super Bowl campaign? They like he's like nervous. He walks in, and all the Domino's employees like hug him.
They
and
hand
like,
him a
I'm
slice
sorry.
of pizza. He
I'm
eats
sorry.
it. It's delicious.
After 40 years
home.
The
of
Noid is
avoiding the
back.
Noid, we've brought the Noid back.
Tell the world I'm coming home.
Grimace is there. Mayor McCheese is there.
Ronald's
Kool-Aid
there.
Man is there.
Videotaping everything
Ronald
from a
is
slightly
there.
closed closet.
Everybody's there. Yeah. Everybody's there.
The
I
Noid
love
is just
that.
like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's beautiful.
That would
Beautiful.
be so beautiful.
Yeah.
We've got a new study out.
By survey people.
Survey people reveals, I
Mhm.
don't know if this is a shocking study, women are just as likely as men to prefer younger partners. Daters
Yeah,
prefer
not
the younger of two potential partners 55% of the time. 6,000 people.
If everyone's preferring someone that's younger,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Then who's preferring
it's
them?
a brutal world. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it seems like that there is 55% of the time. So this 45% of people, so the 45% of the people have to do a
Will take
lot
whatever they
of
can get.
work for making up for the, the 55% that want the younger people.
Younger people out there, they can,
Mhm.
dude, they're pulling all the strings.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
This makes sense, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
How
Why
so?
would Why would you want some grumpy old dude set in his ways? He's wearing sweatpants most of the day,
Mhm.
doesn't exercise, has no hopes or dreams. I'm
You're
not
talking about me.
I'm just saying, like, or would you want some younger person full of energy, life, hopes, and dreams, optimism? No longer, they're not cynical. You know what I mean? They're like,
I think
they
the
wanna
main thing
travel.
here then is finances.
Mm-hmm.
I-
A provider.
Well, no, yeah, no. If you're going younger, you're not getting a provider.
That's
though.
what I'm
Mhm.
saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's the case for the older.
You're
is
getting some
like,
arm candy, and you're the provider, right,
Yeah.
for that arm candy.
maybe.
So
Mhm.
yeah, women want some arm candy.
Yeah.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's our play then? Go older to be the
Oh,
younger?
because there's the pool's so huge.
Yeah.
Get money. Financial. Can we still be? We can't. We can't really be the younger partner, really.
I mean,
Right?
it could be.
For like a 70-year-old?
Or
Yeah,
an
for sure.
octogenarian or whatever they're called.
Yeah, that there's
An
there's still-
octogenarian?
there's
Whatever they're-
octogenarian. Those are 80s.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
But there's people in their 50s, people in their 60s. Doesn't have to be 70s.
I mean, for us to be considered younger, I think we have to go more than 50. I think we have to go into
We
the
would
60s.
be younger if we
I
dated
know
women in their
technically we're
50s.
younger, but that's not what when people say younger. I think they're considerably younger, visibly younger than themselves. Or what's the point? If everyone in public doesn't know you're dating a younger person,
Then
if
what's
they
the
look
point of
as
dating
old
them?
as you, well then who cares? You're not getting your money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
How much is that, do you think, Danny? Speaking of money's worth.
Money's worth. I don't know. I haven't looked around, Tyson.
So let's say that you're
I just know
like
I don't have enough money to get someone younger.
Jessica Rabbit in her prime.
She's eternally what, like
Yeah.
30, 20,
Mhm.
28?
I don't think it necessarily means people that are 20.
No, I would like to see a number of what women consider a younger partner to be age-wise.
Mm-hmm.
That's
'Cause
the
that would
other
be
study.
helpful.
And
Yeah.
also, these are all people that I am assuming are at home taking studies.
Because we've seen a study that shows that guys prefer girls or think girls are their most attractive at 23.
Who
So
says
what do
that?
women? It was a survey. I think we covered it years ago, but it would be interesting to see what women consider to be a young man. Like, what's the prime age for a younger man?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is?
I don't know, but it makes sense. I mean, women, more of them graduate college. They're doing better in the workplace. Now they've got money to spend on some arm candy. So this just seems like the natural
No-brainer.
progression. Yeah, no brainer. Exactly.
Played my cards wrong.
So look, it's not just men who are
Uh-huh.
looking for a younger partner, but I don't think it's necessarily like that. Like women in their 80s are looking for a guy who's 20.
But what about 45?
Well, we don't know. How many 80-year-olds have you
I think
consulted on this?
you know, I haven't.
80-year-olds love me.
What does the chat say?
The other problem with
80-year-olds
younger
love-
people is they're exhausting. And you
Yeah.
have little connection generationally and culturally to them. So it's like you have to explain the Noid to them because they don't know when you make a
Mhm.
avoid the Noid reference. And it's just like, this is exhausting being around a younger person. They want to stay up late.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They want to talk all the time about stuff that you don't care about. So it comes with a price, not only
Mhm.
financial, but mentally, if you want a younger
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah, Cyrita says that right. If someone is 5 years younger, I call them a baby.
5 years
How
younger?
old is Sarita though? Because then
Yeah.
that's could it be
that's
a
what they
20.
percentage issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So,
So I think if somebody's 45 and they're dating somebody who's 35, that's still a younger person.
Oh, absolutely.
sure.
But
Mhm.
if you were 65 and they were 55,
Sarita's
That's
That's
41.
still like that still
No.
counts.
no, that gap is less significant.
Sarita's 41. So someone who's a baby is 36.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's right
I'm
there. In the
45. I'm going to be 46. That means a 40-ish year old, which, you know, I have I have a sibling who's that age. I have some, and yeah, I guess kind of baby-ish. They are,
Mhm.
but then sometimes I bump into people that I have no clue that are, if they're younger or older, and they end up being 5 years younger. And I'm like, I think we're the same. So
Yeah.
I don't
Kate
know.
the Great says the rule is half your age plus 7 is what
Yeah.
you're allowed.
Is that
to
math?
date.
That's
Yeah.
mathematically Einstein. I
You
think,
can't
came up
argue
with that.
against math. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 So that just means that's the eligible dating pool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay. And half your age plus 7 is the eligible dating
Yeah.
pool. So you guys are
30.
46. I'm 45.
Mm-hmm.
30.
That's close enough. Yeah.
That seems super
30.
young.
Half
30.
your age is, that's exactly 30. Wow.
I
30
could talk to a 30-year-old.
about what?
Stuff. TikTok. Sure.
Yeah.
Do you watch any reality shows?
Yeah,
always
those
got
are
that.
really popular right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can make it
Okay.
work.
Yeah. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We're all taken. Sorry,
In the
older
metaverse, we'll all be
ladies.
the same age, so it won't even matter.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Is that
I
true?
mean-
It's just like heaven?
Yeah, because without your legs, you're half your age.
Yeah. I don't know what my wife would talk to a 30-year-old guy about.
Yeah.
How big his muscles are.
Yeah, that's it. She's not gonna know about anything.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
in that age group. Even though we do talk a lot about their stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't remember it.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a new thing to watch out for in
Uh-oh.
first class. Okay.
Yeah, I don't need to
First
watch
class seat squatters.
What is a seat squatter, and how can you squat in first class? It seems like it's heavily policed.
They
That's
get
what
there
you-
and sit down.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but the steward, the flight attendants walk up and down the aisles. They make sure that the
But
person.
okay, so here's what happens, Danny. Okay. They get on the flight. Okay. They go sit down in first class. Flight attendant says, "Oh, can I offer you a cocktail?" Like, "Oh, yes, absolutely, please." Person comes in, like, "Oh, that's my seat." Like, "Oh, I must be mistaken." And they take the drink and they go back to coach.
I don't hate
Oh.
that play.
That's not
Whatever.
squatting.
Keeping my seat warm.
Mhm.
That's like temporarily.
Well, I think maybe the play is like, "Hey, I'm here for the long haul." Then when they get busted, okay, worst comes worst, I just got my drink.
They
Yeah.
can't be there for the long haul because when they sit down and then before the flight takes off, they actually first class people go around the flight attendants and they
Yeah.
are like, this seat is empty. So whoever you are, you can't sit
I
there.
didn't know they do that.
Yeah, they don't. They
Yeah, that's what I
they
was trying
check
to
the
say.
manifest.
They're like, well, this seat is supposed to be empty, and they're not going to be like, that's fine. And now they upgrade to fill most seats, so the
Mhm.
odds of having an empty seat,
Yes.
in a place
Yeah.
like that is pretty low.
And I don't know how much shame a lot of people have, but the older I get, the less I want to get into an altercation or get caught by someone younger than me, which is a lot of flight attendants. Like the older I get, obviously, the more younger people than me. So like I hate getting kicked out of stuff that they're like, we should sneak into this thing. And I was like, no,
Sneak in.
because if like the 25-year-old person that's policing it catches me, that's too much shame for me.
It's a lot of shame.
What are you doing here, old man?
Yeah. Sneaking in, huh?
Yeah.
Don't have the money to be here, right?
Just here to meet some younger
Hey,
women, I
everybody.
presume.
Hey, everybody, this old guy can't afford to be here and he tried to sneak in.
And he's old. He's a bum. That's old. He should be ashamed.
And I am.
Yeah. What do you think this is? We lurk?
I like lurkers. I'm sticking.
Get
with
over to
lurkers.
Lurkers down the street.
Yeah, you
Should
can't
we
be
buy
a
some-
Starbucks.
The other move that they say that people are doing here is they're sitting down, they're getting the drink, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go say hi to my friend," and then they just go to their seat.
I don't hate snagging a drink. Like all the tickets are overpriced. Airlines
Yeah.
suck. If you in coach have the ability to get a free drink, free
the
beverage,
audacity.
then do it. Even if it's at my expense a little bit in some way where it inconveniences me, where I have to come on and be like, hey, I think you're in my seat. And they're like, oh, sorry, no problem. I'm fist bumping you. Or get you another drink because I don't even drink. So I'll be like, I need mine. Actually, same thing they're having. Hand it off to them. That's great.
Yeah. All right, one more story before we get to Danny's Bolt Hole. And it involves a man who had a lifetime ban from all Walmarts. His name
Whoa.
is.
How do you? Could you apply to get one of those?
You have to steal items from Walmart. I don't know if this is a common punishment. He was banned from all Walmarts. Jason Fry. Only problem was he just got caught shoplifting at a Walmart in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah. So they have facial recognition technologies and stuff, probably. In high school, my friends thought they figured out a way to steal CDs from Shopco. Do you guys remember Shopco? Does that still exist?
I don't
No,
remember it.
I don't remember Shopco.
You don't remember Shopco either?
No.
So it was this big kind of like have everything like cheaper version of Target before Target existed. And they were like, we're going to go in and steal CDs. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay outside. And they got caught, and they all got lifetime bans from Shopko. And one of them tried going in years down the road, and they got stopped and escorted out. Yeah.
Wall of shame. They have like Polaroids that the manager can look
I guess
at.
because back then that was like the like mid 90s.
Yeah.
So I always thought it was, I was like, man, that's crazy that they're so on the ball there. And it was a whole thing.
Lifetime of the company, not the person, it appears.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one or the other. Shopko does not exist anymore. We had it in Iowa too. Thank you. So they're all closed in Wisconsin. They used to be around. So anyways, my friends had this ban, and one of them did test it, and they got escorted out.
Wow.
And their parents made them call for punishment. Their parents made them call their grandparents and tell them what they had done.
By the way, this guy's been charged with criminal mischief for other things. Do you think that was
Kool-Aid Man challenge?
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering.
Oh man, lurking?
No, criminal mischief
For first class squatting
at the Dublin Kroger. Hilltop dollar store. He's hitting all the finest retailers around.
He must think they're easier targets, but they have their
soft
eye on
targets.
him.
Yeah, he's on the list. Yeah. And then also a quick shout out to Mark, I believe it Joray, one of our listeners, who wrote in to say, I listened to this week's past episode. I'm one of the cool guys who competes in the Excel World Championship.
That is cool.
That is very cool.
And
How
then
did
he gave
do?
us a question. He said, if there was a News AF themed question, it would go something like this. One of the following page are two data sets. One is hot soup bar locations and one of Greyhound routes. And then he ended up giving us a question. But I'm not sure if he's joking or if he's serious.
Well, first of all, I would not be able to answer it. I'm not good at spreadsheets. But I can tell you that if there's a Greyhound stop and hot soup at a same location, that's soup that you should avoid. Absolutely. People are going into that soup with their hands.
They said,
Is
if
it
Danny...
Is it a Greyhound you should visit though?
Yeah, it's a great Greyhound route.
Greyhound bad soup.
Okay, but go on, Rob.
So they said, if Danny wanted to take the Greyhound to the city with the most hot soup bars, what city would he go to if he started at the following locations? A, Caligula nightclub. B, CES, C, Galactic Salt Mines.
Well, you start at the Caligula nightclub, right?
Get that
Because
shrimp cocktail.
Get the shrimp cocktails, get some hot soup, put some hot soup in a Ziploc bag
For the Greyhound.
for the Greyhound, right? And then probably go to CES next. I don't imagine they have actually lots of hot soup. Now at the Galactic Salt Mines, they serve a hot dish. I don't know if it's more of a broth, a very watery broth.
Oh, I thought it was more
but it's
like
salty.
But it's
more like
very
the
salty.
on Big Brother.
Yeah, so you want to
Schlop?
start.
Is that what they call
Slop,
it?
they call it.
Schlop.
No H. Yeah,
I would call it schlop.
that's what they have at the Galactic Salt Mine.
Oh, schlop. Okay.
Okay.
So you start in New York. Also, this is a cross-country trip, I guess, because you would end up here.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Danny, are you ready to take us on a Greyhound bus to your famous bolt hole?
All aboard.
Okay. Here we go.
Welcome to my bolt hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong. Nocturnally
Yeah.
We just did a shoplifting story. I had a shoplifting one in the bolt hole. I don't feel like we should do that.
Man, shoplifting's making a comeback, huh?
You know, here's some. Yeah, and guess who's doing it? Younger people that we can't even communicate with because they're so young. This is one of the things that we would have a hard time with if we were dating a younger person.
Yeah.
They're super cool about digital shoplifting. And we're like, that's wrong. Didn't your parents teach you any
That's why they don't
morals?
want to date us.
Yeah, they're like, I don't want to be lectured constantly by this old man about digital shoplifting. So, but that's not
digital
what I'm going to-
shoplifting.
Digital shoplifting, yeah.
Like on Napster, we knew all about. We invented that.
Napster.
No.
Yeah.
ordering something and then
LimeWire?
pretending like you didn't get it.
Oh,
Oh
Huge.
man.
It's going through the roof, and the people doing it tend to be younger. And get not only that, they're not just younger, but they tend to not think it's a bad thing. So it's
Mhm.
our fault as their parents for not teaching them, better morals, whatever. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about baby names. We haven't talked about baby names
Okay.
in forever. And for some reason, there's been a ton of them, articles showing up in my Google feed. Probably because I clicked on this one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But now
Jax.
we talked about the baby name that got rejected because of the copyright issue in Great Britain. Remember that? They wanted
Mhm.
to name their kid. Well,
They
this one in
Noid?
Germany got banned, and you would think that this might be a cool name in this day and age, but in Germany, some parents lost the ability to name their kid Lucifer.
Well, why not?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought maybe this might just be a generational thing, right? Some old timers are just not cool with younger, and which again, having a younger person, this is the kind of conflict you would encounter. Like,
Mhm.
we can't name our kid Lucifer. And
What's
they're like, why not? What's wrong with that? But yeah, they went to court. Now, this is an older story, but it leads to other stories that aren't allowed in Germany, like Satan, Judas, Lenin, Gucci, McDonald, which
Gucci.
yeah,
I
well,
guess it's
Gucci
trademarked.
copyright. Then there's this awesome name called Bierstuber,
yeah.
perfectly pronounced, which translates to pub. You can't name your kid pub.
Okay.
You can't name your kid vagina or vagina. Yeah,
Wow. That's like an anti-bullying thing.
yeah. Whiskey, Excalibur, and Pain. Now, Excalibur is a sweet name, right?
Yeah.
That sounds way cool.
Mhm.
Like,
That's illegal in Germany.
yeah, in Germany, you can't name them Excalibur and Pain. Although I can see why a lot of
Pain.
parents would want to name this their kid Pain. Like, this
Mhm.
is Pain.
Yeah.
He's
Mhm.
a pain. So yeah, just when I didn't know that these things exist, I didn't know there were restrictions to baby names. I know that you could be told you couldn't, but some countries are putting out lists that say, "Hey, you cannot." I mean, New Zealand also has a banned list of baby names. So before you name your baby, what I'm telling you is you need to check
the
to see
list.
if there's a list of banned names they won't accept, because it's better to check beforehand than have to go through court.
Yeah. Okay.
give
I
you a
can't
birth
get my
certificate.
passport for my kid Daenerys.
Yeah, yeah. If they had checked beforehand, they
Mhm.
would have to go through all of that. Nobody wants to ever deal with a government bureaucrat, paperwork, whatever. So just check beforehand what names are allowed and which names are not allowed. Now, here's the interesting thing. Here's some band names in New Zealand. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know if I'm ready until I hear the names.
This
then I'll
one's
know.
interesting. Bishop.
Mhm.
I don't know if they mean the number 3 or the word ill, but that's there. King, Major, Royal, Messiah.
That's
Mhm.
what
Princess?
I
What-
had the idea of those, because you name somebody president, apostle, all of a sudden, like, that's just like kaboom.
That'd be
Mhm.
interesting if that's not even possible. But Prince in another spelling, Rogue, Royal, Sovereign, a lot of royalty stuff not available.
Yeah.
This one is a weird name. I don't know what it means. Azza Royale, Captain, Chief, Empress, Fanny. There's that again, Fanny. ISIS.
ISIS is good. That's
King.
yeah.
Judge. They have a huge list. If you're in New Zealand, you need to check this thing. King Killa. You can't name him
Uh-huh.
King Killa. Messiah King. Wow, the list goes on. So
Yeah.
anyway, check your local list if you're about to pop a baby out, and just
I
avoid the headache.
always do think
the word.
it's interesting when you're like oh, that's a cute little 2-year-old romping around. Your 2-year-old can walk. What's your 2-year-old's name? King Shit.
ISIS.
And you're like, King
Yeah.
Shit. And they're like, yeah, and he's the best guy that's ever lived on the planet. And you're like, oh, okay, that's bold. And also, I don't know what it sets him up for in the future, but
Yeah, it's spelled Kungchit, and he was a philosopher, an Eastern philosopher, who started a branch of Buddhism, and his name's Kung Shit. You're like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but
I don't
if
know.
you have to explain a joke or a name to people when they hear it, then it's not worth it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not even a joke. I think sometimes they're just like, oh, we'll name her
No, I'm saying
princess-
the same rule applies to names as jokes. So if you
Yeah.
have to explain the joke or you have to explain the name your kid has, then it's definitely not worth it.
But you don't have to explain the name, like Princess
No, because
Lovely.
everyone's going to ask you, why did you name your kid Kung Chit? And you're
No,
like,
but not everybody's going to ask why you named your kid Princess Lovely. It's because you are conceited and you want that child to also be the same.
yeah.
I don't know if it's conceit or what it is, but it's weird when you're like, this baby's name is the best human to ever live.
Better than you, baby.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, there you go. Just heads up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get to our image for today's podcast. We talked about lurking. We lurk.
Oh, a
the
lurk
panic button.
location
Yeah.
filled with, not that it'll know what a lurk location is.
You don't
Yeah.
think it's listened to us
Kool-Aid
live and
man.
already put in
Yeah.
the database?
A Kool-Aid man breaking through the wall into a
Into a
lurker
Domino's
location,
pizza accidentally filled with noids.
filled with people on computers. Probably can't use Noid. I don't even know if we can use Kool-Aid man.
I bet you could get Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
and
I don't think
Noid.
ChatGPT cares. Yeah.
Okay. So
Uh,
Kool-Aid man breaking into Domino's filled with
Domino's.
people on their laptops.
with Noid hiding in the, I don't know.
Filled with lurking noids.
I want AI to attempt a Kool-Aid Man and a Noid.
Okay.
That's the two things that I need from this.
Need.
And the infamous Domino's Noid
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
is
go.
lurking. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Okay. Danny, what's coming up for you?
Oh, I just got back. Probably unpack my suitcases.
Mhm. How recently did you get back?
Yesterday, late yesterday.
Can I tell you, when we go on a trip, my wife will leave the packed suitcase. Many times this has happened until the next trip. The suitcase will just
People
be
do that.
packed open on the floor
That's wild.
for months.
Open?
Open.
Yeah, because it
suitcase.
naturally unpacks itself if you use the stuff. I do that too. I open it when I get home. Maybe I unpack or maybe I leave it there knowing I'm going to utilize the clothing in there over the next couple days, and then it unpacks itself naturally. A lot of these
80%
things
of
work themselves out.
80% of the time, I'll clean it all up in one mad, moment.
Frenzy
But
to be normal.
occasionally, if I have a trip quickly after and it has a lot of the same stuff involved, I'll just leave it kind of there.
Yeah.
And like slowly unpack the things I don't need and then pack the things I do. So yeah, that's what
Okay.
I'll be doing. What about you, Tyson? Oh wait, do we have an image?
Yeah,
Let me see.
well, I think that we're struggling with the Noid. I don't think it knows what the Noid is.
Too
But it knows
advanced.
Kool-Aid Man.
It knows the Kool-Aid Man for sure. Okay, so here we go. Here's version 1.
Kool-Aid Man.
Oh,
Here's
That
the
is
Kool-Aid
pretty
Man
good.
breaking
delivering
into Domino's.
pizzas with. I like that actually.
Okay.
But there's not even an attempt at the Noid.
Yeah, and so I've said, can you please include the Noid? And then we got the same thing.
Yeah, it doesn't know what the Noid is.
It doesn't know what the Noid is.
Prominently included is
Probably
what
because
it
Andy
says.
Noid got it copyrighted and erased from the entire internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't know.
I didn't mind the first one.
Okay.
Like I like that one.
Also, can we call it iLurk instead of lurkers?
That gives it a classic
Makes it seem like it's an
edge.
Apple product.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
All right. I mean, we might get sued.
I don't think so.
By who? By Kool-Aid or Domino's?
No. By if we
Apple.
use
iLurk.
iLurk, they'll come.
I don't
after
think
us.
so. Little
Mhm.
I,
Got it.
capital L.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What about
Okay.
you, Tyson? What are you up to?
Going to Vegas today to have dinner
Oh.
with Ethan Zahn.
Wow.
How long
Yeah.
are you driving? Is that a
No,
drive?
I'm
What do you-
flying.
Oh, to
I'm
have
flying
dinner?
and then flying back tomorrow.
Okay.
Flying
Yeah.
out, having dinner, gambling. I like to gamble. Remember to gamble
Mhm. Is Ethan a gambler?
responsibly. I'm going to teach him how to lose
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
And then flying back tomorrow, we had Bergen's first synchronized swimming competition,
Oh,
which
cool.
went she had to be there all day. It's much like swim team or like a track event or like a dance recital. Like the team expects the participant to stay there and support everyone else on the team throughout the entire competition. So she was there all day Saturday, but she loved it. So that's pretty cool. And I think going to Supercross, motocross racing this weekend.
Wow.
Sick,
with
dude.
my
You gonna
in-laws.
Get a Monster Energy drink and just sit down and
In my
enjoy some-
Monster jacket with my Monster hat with my
Yeah.
Monster brand.
with the Monster babes
Yeah.
dancing in front of you. Exciting.
Yes, exactly. And then probably some other stuff.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, that's a hell of a week.
Yeah.
Hell of a week, dude. Vegas,
Action-packed.
Supercross.
Mm-hmm.
It's all happening.
Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
Oh, we got a lot of podcasting going on. Busy week on the podcast. Dondi, the traders, and maybe we'll get some Survivor podcasts in too. So lots of great stuff going on in reality TV. It's a busy time. Danny, you should become a reality TV fan.
The
golden age.
Renaissance.
The Renaissance
Yeah.
is here.
Reality TV.
You know, I have a hard time watching reality TV because I don't like to see people embarrass themselves.
Oh, well then
Publicly.
you'd hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a lot
That's
of
the
times
best part of it.
I know some people like thrive off of that, but it's like, oh, I have such a hard time. Sometimes I can excuse it by saying that maybe they're getting a bad edit,
Mhm.
but a lot of the times it's obvious that they're just willingly shaming themselves. on
It's
national
okay.
television.
You'll get used to it, Danny.
You will get used to it.
Just
That's
jump
why
in. I need to
I
build
don't
up.
go on
Yeah.
reality TV anymore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, what kind of legacy is that for my kids when they're like,
Mhm.
yeah, he looked like a total prick on a show right before he died. at
Even if you're
80.
not a prick,
Yeah.
like maybe they just made you look like a prick.
There you
So
go.
that's the problem, is that you don't know what you're going to get.
That's
as a
Danny. See,
contestant.
you're already ahead of the game. You already got the built-in excuses of like, they made me look like a prick.
Yeah.
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 But I kind of
I
believe
wasn't
it.
even doing anything.
I was just being myself, and I'm
I was
not
just
a
being
prick.
myself.
Ask
Yeah.
my wife.
I
Ask-
thought it
ask-
was my seat.
Yeah, ask any of my my wife. I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
All right. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We'll be back next time with more News AF. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.
We did it.